Welcome back to the CNR recap. I'm Griffin Aldrich. Alongside me, we got Daniel Miguel. And Daniel, I think us doing these lives is giving the Celtics some good luck because we won last night and won tonight on a back to back. No Jaylen Brown doesn't matter for the Celtics. Daniel, you know the drill. How are you feeling after this big Celtics win? Because the Raptors took us, on that two-game losing streak. The Raptors overtook us for that third seed. However, now we're tied in the third seed, and I'm feeling good. I don't know about you, Daniel, but how are you feeling, and what are your initial thoughts after this game?
Yeah, only a two-game losing streak before this game and the win against the Heat. So for any Celtics fans who are overreacting after that, a little losing streak, come on, get your hopes up, man. We're finally back up, two-game winning streak against two really good teams in the East that really help our standing and our position in the conference. So that the win against the Heat really good, and then this one against the Raptors, like you said, Griffin, it was a must win because of the seeding and because they were third. Um, did you say that you said they were third right before this game?
Yeah, third
Yeah,
seed before the losing streak. And then the Raptors.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Yeah. So this was definitely a must win in terms of the conference, and I'm just glad we're able to beat two good Eastern teams. I wish we could have had that three wins in a row against Eastern Conference teams, but that loss to the Pistons kind of ruined it. But still a lot to be happy for as Celtics fans. Still a lot to celebrate with this team. And this one didn't feel that much like stats wise, it didn't feel that much like we're gonna win it, especially in that second half where they took over and outscored us. But yeah, we ended up coming out with the W. And a really good game from Pritchard as well. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. A huge game for Pritchard. Great night for Pritchard with 33 points. And we'll obviously discuss that later because, when the Celtics win, we give out a CNR MVP. But very impressed from Peyton Pritchard tonight. And I was very impressed with other guys coming off of this game as well. And we're going to do a live tomorrow. So just make sure you tune in for that too about the Celtics big man depth. And a name that we are going to talk about was Luka Garza. However, and we still will talk about him in the DMPs, but however, tonight had and played 26 minutes. And, he came right off the bench, Daniel, and he played 3 minutes and had, I believe it was 6 points and like 4 rebounds in like 3, 4 minutes. So, him to go out there and, that's his spot up for grabs. Like, he went out there tonight, and I won't get too in depth about this because we'll save this for tomorrow, but he went out there because that's his spot. Joe Mazzulla has been looking past him on the Celtics bench, and tonight he looked at Luka Garza and was like, all right, we're going to trust you with the minutes tonight, and ended up executing. I think this was a big prove it night for Luka Garza, and 22 in the plus minus, I look at that as a win. And I look at the Celtics game as a whole, and I thought, team basketball, team effort, they were very impressive. No Jaylen Brown tonight, out with an illness. And tonight, it came up as a team effort. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Happy holidays. And I'm
Happy
feeling good with the
holidays.
Celtics win. So Merry Christmas. This is a Christmas gift tonight. A big, big Celtics win. Big Celtics win.
Definitely.
And Daniel, what are your thoughts? Because I'm not going to lie, when we do the podcast, if you didn't know already, we predict the games coming up. And I honestly predicted that the Celtics were going to lose this game. I figured, we play this team 4 times in a season, and this was the game where I was like, all right, they're going to get us at one time. The Raptors are an annoying team. They're the team that kind of always wants to punch back, always wants to give you a fight. And I thought this
Yeah,
was us.
it's happened like in previous seasons where like yeah, there's always that one game against the Raptors, or like in the past it used to be the Wizards as well. It was just that one game that we just end up losing just because, especially with no Brown tonight. Yeah, I agree with you. I also had him either losing or it was going to be a close game. So yeah, either one or the other. And yeah, I'm glad it ended up as a win for us.
Yeah, I agree. And I have to say, like, this is going to be a team where I predicted them to be a seed behind us. So this is a team where this team is totally in our, I don't know what to call it. They're in our range. This is
in our range. Yeah, that'd be the
yeah,
word.
this is a team that's going to battle and we're going to have fight against them. So, for us to even go out there tonight and get a 16-point win against this team is huge for me. And I'm very impressed. And the Raptors, again, had a good game too, had guys scoring and had an efficient game tonight. So, very impressed by the Celtics effort, especially with no Jaylen Brown, though. But, Daniel, do you have any other thoughts before we get into the quarters?
Nah, other than the thoughts I've already mentioned, I saw kind of decline in that second quarter, but other than that, we ended up picking it back up in the third and fourth quarter, and good win.
Yeah, and let's get into the differentials because you see this game was not always the most competitive. The Raptors were up by 7 at 6:15 in the third quarter. However, the Raptors own the momentum pretty much that whole first quarter, and you see it right there on the differentials. However, the Celtics took a big leap and then it kind of went back down to the Raptors. You kind of see the Celtics spark up and really take the lead, but in that first quarter, the Boston Celtics, even though they looked to be down most of that quarter, they actually won the quarter, went scoring 32 points opposed to 20 from the Toronto Raptors. And however, in that second quarter, it kind of looks like a big dump, and you kind of see it like starting to go down as we get into the third quarter because the Raptors outscored the Celtics with 31 points opposed to 17, keeping the Celtics to 17 points. And then you look forward to that third quarter. The Celtics finally win another quarter, scoring 34 opposed to 29 from the Toronto Raptors. And finally, in that fourth quarter, the Celtics became victorious as they outscored the Raptors 29-16. So that's my most important thing I'm taking away from this is, in years past, the Celtics have had so much issues on not getting it done in the second half, not being able to do it in crunch time and keep their foot on the gas pedal. However, Daniel, it's been a lot different this season, and I don't know what you think, but what are your thoughts about the Celtics keeping their foot on the gas pedal and getting their games down like that and continuing to blaze through a team all throughout the game?
Yeah, I think it's just an emphasis from Missoula on playing till that final whistle, and I think it's just like, um, because I see Missoula as that type of coach, as a coach where like until that clock or that final buzzer hits, we're going full, you know, foot on the gas, right? And although it has been the case that like we kind of like tend to slow down in the second half, especially that third quarter. I remember last season third quarters would be horrible for us. Sometimes fourth as well, where we'd have like a 20-point lead like at the end of the third or something, and then just end up almost losing that lead like as the fourth quarter goes on. But I think it's just really just Missoula putting the foot down and just being more like, guys, come on, if you need a breather, sit, but like in any other case, just keep going full 100%. And that's what we did tonight.
Yeah, and another thing that impressed me too is the Celtics rebounding tonight. No Jakob
Oh
Poeltl
yeah.
for Raptors, but rebound wise, the Raptors only had 37, and the Boston Celtics had 55. And I want to give a case to that about Luka Garza being out there, having two big men playing, and Luka Garza kind of taking in the slack for Nemias Queta. Nemias Queta had 5 rebounds, and Luka Garza tonight had 7. So wait, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. 10 rebounds.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ted.
so picked up the slack from Peyton Pritchard. Jeez, what am I doing, Daniel, out here? From
That's all right,
Nemias,
man. It's all right.
but and I was very impressed from that. So, and then also from the field goal tonight, Celtics shot 44 for 95, which is 46.3% from the field goal, opposed to the Raptors 36 for 87, which was 41.4%. So shooting wise, did pretty good. 3-point. The Raptors were 34% tonight, and the Boston Celtics were 30.8. So Raptors kind of beat us in the 3-point percentage tonight. However, the Celtics still were able to get it done. And Daniel, do you have any other thoughts before we get into the player stats?
Now I'm waiting for us to get into the player stats because yeah, it was one where like you look at other player stats and you think, oh, this wasn't like a big show out from anyone. But if you watch the game, then you'll know that there were guys that Griffin is going to mention that really made an impact on the team and an impact on this win, other than Pritchard.
Yeah, and for the Raptors tonight, Brandon Ingram, who we saw that big acquisition for the Toronto Raptors last year, played 35 minutes, had 24 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and shot 58.8. That's something that we see from him on a night-to-night basis, average Brandon Miller. Sandrio, I'm not even going to try with that last name. 24 points coming in for Jakob Poeltl tonight, had 5 rebounds. Scotty Barnes only had 12. Colin Murray-Boyles had 9 points. Quickly had 3. And you really haven't seen a lot of these. Another guy that I want to point out, because I got to see him play in the G League, so I'm always high on the G League guys. As you guys know, go check out the main report on our account. But a guy I was very high on is I believe his first name is Jamison Battle. Yeah, Jamison Battle, who he played for the Raptors 905 team last year. Got to see him play at Expo. 2 rebounds, an assist, but that's another guy I saw playing the G League. And Temple, who I can't believe he's still in the league. Garrett Temple.
Yeah, how old is he? I feel like his name has been in the league for like so long now.
He played 2 minutes, had a rebound. Let's go check how old he is because I am really curious about this. Temple age. Let's see this because if 39, wow,
Wow.
on the cusp of 40, he's still in there too,
That's
Daniel.
crazy. And he's still
He's
getting minutes, like regardless, just a little bit, but still, he's out there, man.
he's getting that work done. He's getting that work
Reminds me
done.
of Haslam, like those last like seasons before retiring. Yeah, just like, getting
Yeah.
that kind of minutes, like 5 minutes a game or whatever. It's still nice to see.
Yeah, and for the Boston Celtics, we're kind of seeing a decline in Jordan Walsh's game. We kind of mentioned that on the podcast too. He had a hot streak, but we're not seeing the same efficiency. 0 for 1 from the field goal, so 1 turnover. Didn't do too bad. Played 13 minutes, had 4 rebounds and a block, but still not the same efficiency that we're seeing from Jordan Walsh. Baylor Shireman tonight played 8 minutes, had 2 points. His minutes are kind of going down too. Again, still with Minot as well, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 points, 4 rebounds. So we're kind of seeing the same from, and I like that from Minot. He's giving you addition off the bench, but I think the big conversation is Jordan Walsh because he didn't have such a good game last night too. So he needs to step it up. We were talking about him being hot, and he just needs to keep his foot on the gas pedal. Keep doing what you were doing, Walsh, because you gotta
Yeah,
keep going.
definitely.
And negative 15 from the plus minus. So you have anything to say on Walsh though?
Yeah, basically just what you said. I want to see him back in that on that streak that he was on those like first starts, like what, a week ago or something, when he was like starting like I think it was 3 games in a row where he just had like 15 plus points and like 25 plus minutes, and it was just like really good to see him um earn his minutes, I guess, and just like prove to us why um Brad selected him. So I want to see him like back up there. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the Celtics, Sam Hauser played 27 minutes, had 6.6 rebounds, shot 33% from the field goal. Nemias Queta in 22 minutes had 14 points, 5 rebounds, a steal. He's out there doing great things for the Boston Celtics, looking like a good backup center. I'm not saying starting center. I'm not giving him that role yet, because we want another big man, but again, tune into the live tomorrow. I think we're doing it at 7 p.m. Eastern, so check in tomorrow to hear our thoughts on that. But Derek White tonight in 37 minutes had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 25%, and he was efficient tonight. Not the big game after that CNR MVP last night, but here are my picks for CNR MVP. I'm going to highlight these 3, but let me know what you think, Daniel, because not coming in at number 1, Hugo Gonzalez, who, Daniel, we've been talking about since he was drafted, played 28 minutes tonight, had a double-double with 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, and shot 55.6% from the field goal, and had a positive 32 plus minus. So great night for Ugo, and what are your thoughts? Because I know this is a guy that you wanted to talk about tonight.
Yeah, really good game from Mugo, and same thing. He came in late last game, if I'm not mistaken, or like he was part of that second unit that like closed out the game, and he was one of those guys that like just kept going to the final second. I remember, because I watched the ending of last game, and he was just, I just like this. I like his intensity. I like his hustle, and I think he's one of those guys that Mazzulla will like, just because of
How
he,
scrappy.
yeah, he has that dog in him, man. Like he just there's no other way to say it. He just has that dog in him, and mostly defensively, which is something an aspect that we've been meaning to uphold for a really long time is our defense, and it seems like we just got this guy that kind of like understands that 100%.
And I want to add on to that, Daniel. His scoring's getting better too,
It is,
because
it definitely is.
yeah, this is a guy who, you had issues with the scoring, but the defense was like that. His mentality was good, played overseas professionally, but his offense is getting better too. And this is year one and he's 19. So it's like it's just gonna progressively get better. So I am turning the page on Ugo, and I turned the page on Ugo a while ago, but
Long time ago, yeah. Same
yeah,
with me, man.
I'm loving what he's doing. He's a scrappy player, and I've been loving to see him do this. Do you have any other thoughts on him though before we get into the next player?
No, let's go to the next one. I will say last thing though. Those steals and blocks really say a lot, and I hope he continues to like be play like that and like be scrappy and just be on your players like or your opponent's grill the whole time, which is something he's really good at.
Yeah, and I gotta say too, I saw the tweets and stuff coming out after practice where he had cuts on his neck and stuff from practice, because that's just he's gonna give it 100%. And we have a Christmas special, so check it out on Christmas. But make sure to tune in to the Christmas special on Christmas, because we talk about in the main report about how scrappy practices can actually be, because we went to obviously the main Celtics practice. But Luka Garza, though, in 26 minutes had 12 points, 10 rebounds, a double double with 2 assists, along with a block, shot 44.4% from the field goal, positive 22 plus minus. So, very impressed by him. Again, having so many DNPs and going out there tonight and being very efficient, I was impressed. But what are your thoughts on him tonight, Daniel?
Yeah, like you said before, good minutes from Garza and really good minutes from him. And it seemed like, yeah, like you said, Mazzulla was like, oh, maybe we'll try feeding a little bit more off of a little bit less, asking a little bit less from Keita, and then trusting Garza with those minutes and their responsibility, and he ended up delivering. So really good from Garza, and again, if you want to hear more about Keita and Garza and all the centers we have, tap in or tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, I love it, Daniel. We gotta get the plugs in there, right? Right? You gotta keep the plugs in there and play
Yes,
four
sir.
more minutes than Keita. So that'll be an interesting topic to talk about tomorrow. But lastly, Peyton Pritchard, who was stepping up in the absence of Jaylen Brown tonight, in 37 minutes, had 33 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, and shot 54.2% from the field goal. Man, he was on fire tonight, and I think there's a lot more to say about him. So, Daniel, who is your vote? Well, I'll start off. I want to go my vote first. I'm cashing it in. My vote for CNR MVP tonight is Peyton Pritchard. I thought tonight he was very efficient. Again, I mentioned it. He picked up the slack for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown not playing tonight out with the illness, and Peyton Pritchard picked it up. And he's showing why he deserves that starting spot this year. And he is showing why he's waited so long to finally get this opportunity for the Celtics. He's stepping up in huge ways, and I love to see what Pritchard's doing. Again, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, a double double, 3 rebounds shy of the triple double, but very efficient night from Pritchard. What are your thoughts, though, Daniel?
Yeah, before I say this, I just want to preface by saying I thought after White's big game, I think it was last night that he had 60 points combined with Brown. I thought with Brown out, I thought White was gonna be the guy like stepping up and like being that main guy or in terms of points and scoring. But Pritchard impressed me. He really did. He took over for both JB and White today. And he really put the team on his back together with a couple of other guys, of course. But yeah, really impressed with the way he played tonight. And so he's also going to be my Celtics Nation MVP. And there's one other reason besides everything that Griffin said. He played efficient, shot efficient from the field, 3 points, almost a triple double. But there's one stat that really impressed me. He had 10 assists on one turnover.
Wow.
That's really big to me, man, because turnovers have been a big thing for us um in previous years. But another stat in terms of turnovers that a lot of Celtics fans do not know. So if you're one of these fans that don't know this, listen closely. The Celtics right now in the NBA have the least amount of turnovers
That's
in the whole league.
impressive.
That's
That
impressive as hell. I think we're sitting at 11, yeah, 11.3 right now, turnovers per game, which is still a lot, but we're first right now because OKC is second with 12 turnovers a game. So not that much of a difference, but right now we're sitting at first in terms of least turnovers per game. And also another stat for the Celtics fans who don't know, right now we're sitting second in opponents' points per game. So for those who don't know what that means, we hold our opponents down to the second lowest scoring, um, closely behind OKC. But yeah, really a lot of things to be happy about for Celtics fans. But yeah, good game from Pritchard, and he's also going to be my MVP because of that one turnover only. That's really big for him.
Yeah, so he's at 4 now. So he's climbing up on the ladder. Jaylen Brown's at 8. So still has half of what Jaylen Brown has, but very impressed by Pritchard this year. Very, very impressed. But thank you for giving us those stats, Daniel. And it shows that, we're a new team, but we're getting things done. And the core is really what matters within this team. You have guys like Minot who's getting acclimated, getting used to the team, not even having a lot of turnovers, but being a good key addition. Walsh, who's been in the organization, but really getting involved as well this year. But it shows that, that core group with Pritchard, um, White, Pritchard, and Brown, those
Yeah,
three
yeah.
really gluing together, it shows that they are experienced, and those three alone can make this team competitive.
They
And
can hold down the fort for Tatum, definitely. Yeah, which is what they've been doing all season.
I think Tatum's pretty proud on how the Celtics
Yeah,
done.
definitely.
Can't ask for a better season than what we've had so far. So it's been a lot of fun games, Daniel. It's been a lot of
Definitely.
fun games, but
And this would be, I call this the more realistic like side of the Celtics this season. Cause there were two opposite sides coming into the season. It was either gonna be like we prove everyone wrong and are still like the best team in the East, which is one side, and then there's the other side, which is what almost everyone thought. Oh, we'll just tank for AJ DeBonta and we'll be like the worst team in the East. But we've seemed to find like kind of a middle ground, not even middle. I'd say
it's a
closer to that first statement, like where we're still a really good team in the East. We're still I'd say still a top three, honestly. I'd say it's a top three team in the East, and we're still fighting for that playoff spot.
well said. What a take by Daniel. Gotta give you your flowers with that one, Daniel. But any final thoughts before we close this out? Because again, big win from the Celtics, and I'm saying 2-game win streak. And what do we have? Indiana next for 2 games? Yeah, I think Indiana, right? Yeah,
I
Indiana
think
on
so,
Monday
yeah.
and Indiana on Friday. So we got Indiana 2 days in a row. Not two back-to-back days, but two
Yeah.
times in a row. So a good time to start up a little win streak right here. Gotta get the boys back on track. Had 2 straight losses. Now we're turning it around, Daniel. But any final thoughts before we close this out?
Yeah, man, you just said it. We have 2 games against the Pacers, and I really want us to push for the rest of the year, to push through for the rest of the year, so then we can start that run next year. I want us to go on a run next year from like I guess mid-January you'd say till All-Star break, because I've been holding this in for the past like I don't know how long since I've known it, but I'm expecting Tatum to be not only back this season, but okay. this is only my thoughts. First of all, I just want to say that it's not. There's nothing out there that proves this, but I expected him to be back a little bit after the All Star break,
Ooh.
if possible, like early March. I think is early mid March is where I see him stepping in. So if we have a really good record by All Star break, so from like January to like mid February, I think it really just urges Tatum more to like come back and just like finish it off with the team and just earn a good playoff spot and just we'll go from there. But yeah, we could go on a run starting next year, which is something I hope we do, but let's not get too far like over our heads. Really good streak starting right now, and let's keep pushing.
I want to end off on this comment. Ugo, let's go. Let's go. Ugo tonight was on fire tonight. And we got to keep it going. We got to keep it going. But well said, Dan.
Definitely.
I would love to have Tatum back early, get a playoff run started with this team because this is a fun team, Daniel.
But if it doesn't happen, I'm also like okay with it because again, we're gonna end up with a winning record. I know that much, and for a team without Tatum, that's already like a big win for us. So, and he's also gonna be back next year anyway. So, if he's kept till next season, I'm also okay with that.
Yeah, and for a final thought too, I guess we are jumped back into third place, I have to say. So scoreboard watching for you guys. Celtics are 17 and 11 now. So now in third place, 76ers in fourth place, and the Raptors have dropped to fifth place because they're now 17 and 12. So we have the
Who would
number.
have thought, man? Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? And again, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking about Celtics big man depth. And then on Monday, got the Pacers. So come in for the recap. Come join us. Come talk with us after the game for final thoughts. And don't forget on Christmas, the Christmas special. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. We will see you guys tomorrow for a special live, and then we'll see you Monday against the Indiana Pacers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace, guys.